This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the broadcasting system. This is only a test. The broadcasters of your area have developed this system to keep you informed. This is only a test.
Hello, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the SoulSplit stream. We are Shadowvale Society, and we're currently making our first video game. There, how's it going? How are you doing today?
Yeah, pretty good. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Yeah, we actually, since last time, it feels like we've made huge progress.
I know.
Feels like we're hopped on board the rocket ship and we're flying.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know I've said this a handful of times before, but yeah, it is crazy how seemingly every day will add like one or two things that'll be seemingly pretty small, and it's starting to actually be like a fun game to play, which is
Yeah,
always a good thing, right? That's kind of the goal, or at least
absolutely.
something you hope happens, right? um yeah, cool. Let's get this going and hop in. um Man, that's crazy. I switched over and I forget that we actually have things to look at now.
Yeah, I
So
know. Like,
for a second I
is
was
that
like,
a
"Oh
game you're
wait, like
showing?
what do I have open?" I thought like my screen of like my Photoshop files was taking up like a huge chunk of the screen. So I was like, "What is happening? Like that's not right." Uh
No, dude, I'm just playing our game. That's what I'm
yeah,
doing.
man, that's cool. Hey, I like it. Um
I'm gonna
that is
bring
cool.
up
Yeah,
the
I
version.
I think that so I played it a bit yesterday. Um
And
and
you got trashed by my superior
I was
AI.
getting my ass beat like big time. I could make it pretty easy through the first dungeon, no problem. I don't want to
Including the
say
boss with the
I don't want to
default
say
deck.
no problem, but it it wasn't unbearable. I think it took me, man, I should have been more like adamant about keeping track of how many attempts anything took me. Uh
Hmm.
and I didn't at all. I was just excited and having fun and not really
That's
thinking too
that's
much about it.
that's even better. That's
Yeah, it's a
great news.
good thing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
That isn't easy. That's where most games fail, is they're not fun.
yeah. Oh shit.
Quite hard to make a game if it's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Already this playlist is not gonna do it. We got like the slow sleepy jams on. Um let's see what else we can find. I seemingly lost the good one that I had found, which is that's always nice. I guess I should have like I thought I liked it or added it to a wish list, not wish, playlist or something like that. Um, are you any better? Not much. Go with this one. Probably also bad. I should have. I didn't realize that I. Not I didn't realize. I forgot entirely that I yesterday during stream switched things up and was just listening to the usual shows.
I did notice that. I wondered if I'd not been paying attention. But yeah, you suddenly were
Yeah.
listening to like old school bangers mix or something.
Oh wait, here we go. This one's at least not terribly sleepy. I say that as it's like, but um, seemed a little bit better. To just kind of hang and vibe to. Um, yeah, I switched it up yesterday and then was haven't opened Spotify today on my desktop, so it was not not where I thought I had left it. Um, cool. Nope, don't do that. Oh, but I keep forgetting too that in the desktop version of this program, there is no symmetry tool, which is frustrating because I was about to head back to the other guy and start drawing this. But I don't want to yet because I can make my life easier a little bit by just staying in Photoshop for now. Um, yeah, the I'm glad you said that you liked the art kind of slideshow reel thing that I threw in there
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
that's cool as hell. Loved it.
Um I
Very
didn't
good.
add it on here because we already got a lot going on here.
Yeah, it can be
So
quite busy.
yeah, I think for these ones it's fine without it. Um but yeah, I thought that was a cool, super simple to add. Might as well.
So, enemy deck, Enchanted Blade.
Uh,
Someone have this. Gosh, the Goblin boss has the Enchanted Blade. Okay. Should I swap the Enchanted Blade out for probably the most powerful looking item right now is the Amethyst Staff? It means that the Goblin
yeah,
boss will have it, which I don't love him having a staff, but it's also not the
the
worst.
goblin boss.
Yeah.
Let me what would you like him to have? Like what do you think would be cool for him?
Yeah. I was thinking about this because we could do as you're absolutely flying through these now, we could do some quite reasonable level of planning.
Yeah.
Um, I had a list the other day.
Yeah, cuz
Might do that in a minute.
that's been my kind of like basic attack for the past week or so. Is just one of everything. So I'm not doing like the cool flashy stuff yet by any means cuz I figured it'd be cool to have. I know we had talked about maybe last Wednesday about about the possibility of, I don't remember if this was last Wednesday or another time, but um I don't know. I think there's something to me maybe interesting about, instead of doing, I mean, you could still do it, but instead of doing just like, okay, here's like this basic X, and it's just like a standard X. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just, it is what it is. Does X amount of damage and whatever.
Hmm.
And then being able to level up or find different rarities within those. Um I think it, I don't know. I I have, even though I haven't played it in a minute, but I have just like Elden Ring brain rot, to where I am like, well, I think it's like, yeah, you can level them up. Um but I think that it's always just like more exciting, maybe, to me, and maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to hear your opinion on this too. But just cooler items. Like, yeah, you might be able to level up things, or you know sink points into upgrading um a specific card, but I also very much want to do just a lot of cool cards, where it's like, yeah, you could waste those, not waste, but like you could spend those resources in this way, but do you want to use those then, if you uh can get like this way cooler sounding thing?
Yeah, actually, yeah. The I think I know what you're saying. I think we have a very slight divergence here, actually, and
Yeah.
luckily it relates to the question you were going to ask me, or you asked me, and I was finding the answer to, which is that I wrote a list of what I think the first 2 dungeons worth of weapons could be.
Nice. Okay.
Items, sorry, items, and that's really what I'm going to explain. Is that I think the divergence is that I think of them as items, um,
Yeah.
and the list I came up with, I won't tell you what they do, but there's a spiked buckler, a
Mm.
shock staff, a razor whip, bloodthirsty needle, bone amulet, bone bracers, mossy shield, spyglass, mystic mushroom, warpstone amulet, short sword, iron pot helmet, lucky dice, jitterbug amulet, healing drum, black blade, shatter spike, bone whip, bone ward.
Cool.
And the idea, some of these are you start with, some of them you can unlock, some of them belong to the goblin or the necromancer, or yeah. So quite a few of those are just not weapons; they're just a thing, right? Like
Right.
a spyglass is just a thing. Uh, and yeah, I wondered. At the moment, I think it would be really nice. I think it's hard to do if we had a way to theme the basic. If we had a way to theme the actions that happen. And I know there was that list somewhere that was like ranged is this, this is this, this is this. But I was thinking that like, yeah, I was thinking if they're all weapons are frustrating because if it doesn't do damage, it should probably not be a weapon.
Right.
And there's going to be a lot of cards that don't do damage.
Right.
I think. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what is the hang up?
I, sorry, I
Or
think the divergence is, or I'm assuming this is a bit of a leap. I'm assuming the divergence is that we're we've discussed the cards as if maybe half of them are weapons
Mhm.
or more, but actually, I think it will be closer to like 30% of them are weapons,
Yeah.
and 70% of them, sorry, and then another 30% of them are not even combat related. They're just
Like
things like
status.
mushrooms,
Yeah.
dice, drums, spyglass. Like those things are not even combat related, but because they won't do defense. Because that's another thing, right? Armor, you probably will associate naturally in your head with defense, and weapons you'll probably naturally associate with damage inflicting abilities. So if it draws you cards and gives you actions, you probably are not thinking about it as a weapon or a piece of
Right.
armor, and thus it must be another thing, a
Right.
third
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Are you referring to the fact that I have been in the file names, like naming them weapon, or is this just
Uh,
a
no, no,
general
no, no.
name?
No. I just thought it just occurred to me that I don't think we ever spoke about this. So
I
yeah,
understand.
I'm worried you're like, oh no, like they should all be weapons because weapons are cool because weapons are cool.
No, no, I
But I think
absolutely get that. That makes total sense to me. That
cool.
yeah, there absolutely are other, like you said, items and stuff that um are like, status modifiers, or allow you to add an action to your turn, or whatever they might be used for.
I think I think you can think of a better a different name for the simple stuff.
um
I'd quite like to give it to. I'd quite like to make it a replacement for what's currently called the bloodthirsty needle, which would mean that both goblins have it. It looks like it could be goblin stuff to me, like picture wise.
wait, hold on. Okay, so come up with a different name for what specifically? For the bloodthirsty needle?
No, for what's currently called simple staff, the
Simple stuff.
bloodthirsty need.
I
The
understand.
bloodthirsty needle can cease to exist in our game.
Oh, but I
That
like
does not.
it.
So do I. But I would like to.
Definitely not for the
It's
simple staff though. Um
But no,
what
no.
it
Like, I think the art. So I think so. It is an item that goblins have that
Okay,
does one attack and one healing,
I understand.
and I would like to give it a piece of art that we have
Hmm.
now. And
I
of the options we have, I like the simple staff. I think that
I
looks like an
understand.
item that could do healing and damage.
Sure. I mean it I mean we can do that for now. In when you originally made that, what kind of weapon did you envision that being? The bloodthirsty needle.
I'll find out for you. Where is it? Bloodthirsty needle.
Is that from something, or did you make this?
No, I was writing them down to decide. I wanted names
Mhm.
so that I could decide what ingredients they were made up of.
I
Because
understand.
I
That's
need
cool.
for balance reasons, I needed lots of different ingredient names,
Mhm.
and of course, they kind of need to match the things that they create
Yeah.
in some way. They need to not be at odds
Right.
with the thing. Did I really make? Did I just not write bloodthirsty needle down anywhere but here? I mean, it's very possible. No, here we
I
go.
mean, I know it's in the
Oh,
game because I
I
added
wanted
it
it to
to
be
our list and I put it under daggers.
okay. I wanted it to be when I wrote this in my infinite wisdom, a rusty needle.
That's even cooler. Yeah. I like
So
it.
I was obviously thinking at like a higher plane when I was like, I'm going to call it a needle, and the item's going to be a
It's gonna be a
needle,
needle. No, I think
and
that's sick.
it was going to be created using a bone and a spike, which
Cool.
actually I'm actually not against that. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I think that works. I mean, if you want to, it's all just placeholder anyways. Use whatever you want. I
I'm gonna
think
call it goblin stuff. How about that?
there you go. Yeah, and I think that too could work with what we were talking about yesterday, about having kind of different spawn, different types of enemy spawns within there. Like, yeah, there could be like a goblin mage or something like that. Um, and that's what, potentially could drop the goblin stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to get to that later. Actually, I think that's a really good idea. Okay, let me find another item that's worth replacing quickly. So, yeah, the amethyst staff is going to replace a thing called Shatter Spike. Shatter Spike might be copyright infringement anyway. Shatter Spike was a weapon that was found in one of my Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, which was a sword enchanted to destroy other magical swords.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. But I'm
When
pretty confident I took it from Dungeons and Dragons, like straight out of the book. I didn't come up with it. So,
when I saw that, I was immediately thinking of like I was thinking of like just like some kind of cool mace design for Shatter Spike.
okay, cool. Yeah.
Uh look at this. This is sick. Uh Playing it bigger.
Oh, yeah.
This guy. That's sick.
That
But
is
yeah,
cool.
that was the first thing that I was thinking, like, oh, that's gotta be like some kind of cool mace.
Yeah, that's metal as fuck.
uh and we can always name it something different.
Yeah. You said you're working on a few things. I'm guessing one of them is this axe.
Yes,
What
so I
else?
want to
What else?
do like an axe. Again, trying to go with like a one of everything.
Mm-hmm.
If for the time being, and again, like all of this can change, or like you said, like, oh, we might not have as many weapons as we think. Um, that's perfectly fine. What? Oh, this guy. Another one that I started before stream today. Trying to, again, like, this is incredibly just
Oh, yes.
ordinary and like mundane. That's where I'm
Awesome.
trying to go. Is like, okay, what is like the simplest version of this? Um, so
So,
some kind of talisman, and I might change this entirely, like the actual like pendant part of it. But wanted to just get something down. Um, to
yeah.
start, and then the other one I'm gonna be hopping over to were gauntlets. Um, that
It's so weird. Why? where did you choose gauntlets from? Because I ended up with gauntlets on a few different lists.
You know what? I think you called them bracers at some point, and I was like,
I
"Oh,
did.
cool." Like, what
Bone
could be
braces
like
is
a
still an
different?
item.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, what could be like a different? Again, like bone bracers is incredibly sick, and I'm like, I want to do that very bad, but what is like
I'm
the standard? So I was trying to think like a steel, steel bracers or just like a gauntlet or something like that. So I
I
had
must have
started this a little bit ago.
I must have replaced them since we last spoke because they're not on the list anymore.
Interesting.
Bone braces is now a hardened bones, which is I've interpreted
Oh,
as a spell. That's
yeah.
actually not as cool, but it's fine.
Uh,
There we go.
oops. I
Hardened
mean, we
bones.
can move
And,
things on
definitely,
this
definitely.
list all
No,
around.
no, no. We
This
can
was me like this past weekend trying to be like, okay, get organized. Like
do
I need some
things.
kind of list in front of me, or else I'll just kind of ping pong all over the place and
Hmm.
uh keep bouncing around. So the more structure I can inflict upon myself is usually the better. Um it it helps keep me on track.
I might cheat for coin. Uh, no, it's a waste of my time. Let me not do that.
Wait, to do
I
what?
always No, I was going to edit the image of a ring to make it look more like a coin, and then I realized that let's not no, the coin is terrible. No one is ever going to have a coin.
I do keep like that is one of the things on the list too of like okay like I'm getting to it
A coin would be useful.
the
I've got no
coin.
doubt about it. But me editing the image of a placeholder for a different, it's just not. It's not.
Not
There's no
worth it.
value there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean you could just use the or I can literally just do a coin
No,
in the
let me be
next
patient and not because
in
there's
the
others
next few
here as well.
minutes.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
Do you know what was actually mad?
Hmm.
The way that Twitch does viewer numbers.
It is,
I was
yeah.
I was looking at this the other day. So since this stream started, it just changed. Of course, it changed. That's so annoying.
Mhm.
Since this stream started, whenever I tab into view, there's 7 names. Okay,
Yeah.
and yet the number has not gone. It only just went above 2 now.
Yeah.
Now I'm not. There's nothing wrong with that. Like it's not
Sure.
that big of a deal. If you
It
never
is
tapped into that view, it's so incorrect.
yeah. It definitely can mess with you. There's like so many like streamers and shit out there, or like even just like YouTube videos that'll talk about it. But like one of the first things that one of the things that like they recommend, like if you're first starting out or whatever, and this sounds kind of dumb and you know, take it or leave it kind of thing, but uh they're always like, oh yeah, like especially if you're just starting, like the content is more important than like whatever kind of number anything says or whatever, which yeah, okay, sure, whatever. But they're like you can like disable being able to even view that while you're streaming. And they're like, oh, it's a huge help because then like, you don't really know and you're not like in your head about it, you're not thinking about it, you're just doing what you're doing, you know.
Streaming.
Yeah, you're streaming and you're making like the content that you want to make or whatever. Um and that is also like a big thing that they talk about is just like and also it's not even really accurate. So it's hard to tell like by the time like so exactly like you said like oh and it just now like changed or whatever. Um by the time that like you even see that like as a streamer like they could have already like been in there been kind of like, checking the vibe, seeing if they like it, and left by the time you're like, oh, hey, like, hello, new
Yeah, hey,
viewers
how's it
or
going?
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to the channel. Happy to
Yeah.
have you here. Bob 13, he's gone.
Yeah,
He's
exactly. And he's already out. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. Just all of this stuff. Uh, Everything that goes into it. I keep meaning to need to make a note of that. Um, I can look into it tomorrow. Um, but I wanted to. I told you that Brittany had said. Sorry, I'm writing this down so I don't forget. Uh,
we don't write things down on this stream. We just forget.
yeah, or we write it down and then also forget it. Is
Yeah.
typically more like it in my experience. Um,
Mm,
so uh I wanted to something I've been meaning to do and just keep forgetting because who cares? It's not that important, but something I've been wanting to do. I want to go back and now that we've like actually posted anything to TikTok, uh
Oh yeah.
try and reapply for the early access like streaming thing over there.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that when we did it like the other day or whatever, it denied us like uh the same day kind of thing, and it didn't give any reason. It was just like, nope, sorry. I wanted to see like, okay, well now that we've actually like, been even remotely active over there instead of just, hey, here is a new account and absolutely nothing on it and there's no followers or whatever. Now there's some kind of traffic going on over there. Maybe that would make any difference. Um,
Yeah. It's not
because
a
it
bad idea.
seems like more people are hanging out in TikTok lives than seemingly anywhere else right now. Uh, which is crazy,
All about TikTok.
I guess. Cool. All this.
Yeah, I am both looking forward to that and dreading that. One of
Oh,
the
for
reasons I'm
sure.
dreading it is you're gonna have to set up a vertical stream.
Wait, set up a what?
Vertical stream.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. It'll be, it'll be something. I don't
It'll
know.
be a challenge. Let's go with that.
It will. But hey, that's fine, I guess. That's all right. Um, okay. Did no. Oh wait, actually, before I this do something else. This way, this right here.
So what I'm trying to do right now
Yes.
is I'm trying to force the fight screen to always be looting, so that I win the battle immediately, automatically. If I win the battle immediately, automatically, then it'll be easy for me to improve the loot screen, including putting the new chest in.
Ah,
No, that's my
that's
plan.
cool. Uh, like, okay, in order for me to do this, I want to break the game for a minute, and
Yeah,
then
break the game in a very specific way.
yeah, that's cool. Okay. I duplicate this just so I have a backup in case. I shouldn't say in case, but when when everything goes wrong with what I do here.
Oh yeah, I forgot I don't have the all line on this flipping crappy keyboard. Vertical line.
So that.
Height. Bro.
Sure. Um,
Flipping works. Well, it doesn't work, which is exactly what I want. Perfect.
I liked the brief confidence.
Shit.
So how difficult is something like that on your end? To go from, hey, I send you a series of screenshots of, hey, here's this idea, and then actually having to make something out of that be able to function.
Yeah, we're about to find out. So so first thing was the setup, right? I want it so when I change the code, I can see it change on the left, but just by saving the file every single time. I don't want any like play, lose the fight, get the loot, play, lose the fight.
Right.
I'll drive myself insane, right?
Yeah.
So that bit was easy. How long did that take? A few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now what I'm gonna do is layer the. I'm gonna just the image example you used. I'm just gonna place that. And I'm going to use that almost like a background. So I can put the chest on top of it and then put the loot on top of it and make sure the positioning I'm pretty comfortable with and happy with. I don't think that'll take me long. I think that will take me 15 minutes, let's say. So then in theory, it's done, right? It would just load up and it would look very close to what you sent me, but with real loot in.
Yeah.
I'll make it, it'll probably take me another 15 minutes to make it work for the variations. There's no max number of looted items, which means
Right.
I want it to work for at least 5, basically. I want it so if you loot 5 things, it still looks good and it's coming out the chest.
Yeah.
Then we get to the fun bit. So that should take half an hour, those two things. Then we get to the fun bit, which is like bonus credit, which is what I'll do is I'll take part of. You could also do this to reduce some time, but I'll take part of the chest that
I was gonna
is.
say, if you need me to break it up,
Yeah, so
I can
it'll be
absolutely do that.
in front of the cards,
Yeah.
and I'll make it so that the pieces come out of the chest. I
Yeah.
want them to go whoop out
Yeah.
and
I can
hover
absolutely do
and
that.
flow and be all cool looking.
Yeah.
And this is how long is a piece of string. This is it will
Right.
look as cool as the time I put in, and at some point I'll be like, "Damn, that looks good enough," or I'll go, "I'm fed up with this. I'm
No.
leaving it
Don't
this way."
leave that to me. I absolutely know how to do that. That's how
Well, no,
animation
no, no,
works. Of like,
no,
sorry,
no,
you
no,
go
no.
ahead.
You can't do the animation here, right? Because there is
Well, yes,
5 things come floating out,
right.
and they have to, and they will all look different.
I
They will look different
understand.
every time. So as you give me more items,
It will.
they'll
Yeah.
yeah. And we want the cool, like you see how it's the same thing. It's the same thing as this, right? You want it
Yeah.
to feel 3D and all lovely and interactive and so forth. And you want that to, we don't want to build those animations for all these items.
Right.
We want to build it once and then use it for everything.
Yeah. I
So I'll
understand.
try and achieve that eventually, and I may give it up. We'll find out. But first, it just needs to
And
be a
if
chest that can have loot flowing out of it.
so, if
And if
they're
because they can because one way so if I give up too early and it's not fun or easy to make it like bob out of the chest and look cool,
yeah,
there's tons of options that can like just put the effort on you. So we
right,
could have them like pop in where you
yeah,
do an explosion animation or something,
right,
and then I'll just fade it in underneath. Um, we could have them flip. I already
yeah,
know how to do the flipping, so we can have them flip. There's a bunch of things we could do.
yeah,
So we'll see what the effort level is. I mean, I could just have them fade in, right? That's going to be the easiest thing.
right.
But we know from our dopamine deprived from our dopamine deprived brains, that games that have cool chest opening mechanics also happen to be fun.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
oh man, feels so good when I open these chests. I think Hearthstone might have did it first with opening card packs.
Yeah,
Like the way it did it was like, oh man, this is fun.
yeah,
Like an unboxing video, specially made for me.
exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I think that's I'm very inspired by the things that I'm like currently into at any given time. And like Magic Arena is
Oh yeah,
very
that's
much
just
that, with just like it is like an animation of like, oh, you get like a pack of cards and you get to like, it like opens and all that stuff. It's very fun and I
yeah.
enjoy it. Um oh wait, shit. So what what does that look like for you when you're having to do like animation stuff like that almost on like the back end, like you said, like, okay, you're essentially telling it, here's what I want you to do, remember this for any time this event happens or whatever. um is that just, I don't know.
So yeah, good question.
What
Good
does that look
question.
like?
So there's a couple of elements to it. The mouse interactivity, where it kind of like just angles itself.
Mm-hmm.
That effectively is taken care of by like the equivalent of a plugin. It just kind of, I tell it how close
Yeah,
I want it to be to the camera, and then it just knows to rotate itself according to where my mouse is.
right,
So that bit's easy, and that's the really important bit, is that like as you're picking these things up, it should feel like you're hovering over them.
right,
Um, the getting it to like pop out of the chest will be much more manual, and I'll have to tell it to move from this position to this position and use the following like animation curve to do it.
okay,
Um, I don't think it'll be too bad. We'll see. Um, though, actually, do you know what? If we go back to the glow,
mm-hmm.
um, a way a lot of these animations work is they use something like a glow to hide the like faults, if you will.
Mm.
So the chest will open. I'll increase the glow intensity loads, and it will almost like flash the screen, like flashbang you,
Yeah,
and then as it fades out, the items will be sat there,
yeah, that could be cool.
looking cool. Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, so now I have the example up
Nice.
that you sent, and it's around about in the right position. I just won't worry about the things around the edges. And now I'll reposition the closed one to be like over the top, so I can start playing the other ones. Cool, so that's actually pretty close. Okay.
Let me get this thing started, or I've already started on it, but let me do this, and then I can go and break that up for you to give you the individual things for it.
I'm hearing you double.
You're hearing me double.
Oh, I did very briefly. You sound a bit
Interesting.
possessed. It was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that would be. If it happens again, let me know. And track down whatever's happening.
I might just listen and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's fine too. I understand that. See? Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry,
Um,
that distracted me so much. What was you?
no, I completely understand. What was I saying? I have no
That's
idea.
what I'm asking you. What were you saying?
I said let me do let me finish this thing that I'm doing here. This little
Mm,
coin scribble. And then I'll break open our chest a little bit. So you have all
cool.
of the various layers that you need.
Yeah. So I actually only need one thing, which is that like if
Like the very front
as
of the
yeah,
chest.
exactly. The
Yeah.
front bit, and just don't give me any of the sides. Just give me the front plate,
Yeah.
and then as
Then
the
you
things
can
come
like
out,
sandwich it
I'll
behind it.
I'll avoid the sides.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'll just sit it right on top, and they'll just fly out from behind it.
Nice.
But like I said, I guess the glow, we do still need that, even if I go for the glow solution, the glow up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just so you can actually like sandwich the things between it. Um
So, uh,
Problem. That was kind of what I was trying to say a minute ago when I had mentioned like animation or whatever was um working in that way is something I'm very used to doing for
mm,
animation.
With it.
is for that exact reason. Like if you have a character sitting behind a table or, walking behind something, behind the couch in the living room, you want all of those
Of
individual
course.
elements broken up so you can, hide the rest of it behind it. Um,
Mhm.
but for this, I always kind of my first thing is like, okay, I want to make sure that you are also into whatever whatever idea that I throw out there kind of thing or uh whatever before I do anything like that.
You have the maybe I should scroll. Do you have the parchment?
Yes, I that was another thing that I need to find where I actually have that saved. Um,
I
'Cause
don't know if you,
yesterday I was trying I know so I had sent it to you on Discord. And that's
okay,
the only reason I know that I've that's the only reason I could
find it. Oh, you
find
did
it
send
because
it
I
to
was like,
this.
I know I did that. Where is that? So then I went back and looked just through like our media tab and was like, okay, there it is. So not crazy. Uh,
Yeah, you're not as crazy as me, who just scrolled upwards until I found it, which it turns out it was in August, so
yeah,
early
that
August
is
as well.
a little crazy.
Yeah, it's unhinged.
uh, I also would have done the same thing. I'm surprised that I didn't because I usually do that. And where do I have that? Oh, okay.
Ugh.
I need to redo that defense shield too. That's on the list of. Oh wait, here we
Put
go.
it on the list.
Um. Okay, you already found it though. You do have it.
I did. I'm sorry. Yes, sorry.
That's okay. I wanted to make sure I had it. I want to move it because it doesn't make sense where it's at now. Um.
Bork.
I know he's yelling about something. So for that, for the like parchment paper, do you like it being kind of angled like that, or would you, or would
Yeah,
it
that's
be
fine for me.
helpful to have different versions of it? So all I did for that, like in the like PNG that you have open there, like the example that I had sent, I just like flipped the blank version and then just like scribbled something on top of it to be like, hey, this is kind of what I was thinking. Um,
Okay.
would it be helpful though to have like either one or two other versions of that being like, oh, if this one is like kind of our left facing version, the one that we have now, I could do like a more like flat, like central aligned version and then uh yeah. I mean
No, I think
we can just reuse this one and flip
I
it
think
for
I
the
think this
other
is
version.
I think this is good for now.
Cool. I like it. Um, to get this small.
Hold on. Man. Bring back the rules. What's the ring?
What?
What's the ring? What's the circle?
Coin.
Of course.
Yeah. Or it will be. One day it will be.
Will be.
Sorry, I didn't even realize. Like, I just completely stopped talking. I'm trying to figure out how to draw ellipses in perspective, and it's not taking too much brain power. Trying to figure out how to fake this to make it look how I want it to look. I think
Very
that's
good.
fine. How with how is it going on your end with trying to get that to work? Or are you just sitting like waiting for me? I hear you typing,
No,
so
no,
I know you're not just like
no,
just
no.
sitting there. That's not what I
Not,
meant.
not sitting. No, I'm trying to get the static version first. I'm still on the
Okay, cool.
static equivalent.
That makes me feel good at least. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not like holding you up for anything. Back to this program now. Open up our test. Oh wait. Yeah, I think this will be kind of cool when we have this added. Um okay, cool. Um
What did you say then? You cut out for me.
fun now. Interesting. This is frustrating.
What's frustrating?
Okay. Never mind. Just this program is not there's features that they have in every other program, and then trying to figure out how to where for whatever reason they have moved the placement or what
Mm-hmm.
new menu they've decided to like hide it under for this one specifically is not great. Um so I was thinking about resolving this one way and then realized that there was a different way that I could do this that would be pretty much just as good and uh would be a lot less work than I was anticipating. So I could get this to
Yeah.
you faster. And just what I mean by that is I could, instead of like erasing out and going in and, re-editing the drawing and breaking it down like that, I could just create a layer mask over top of this and uh do it in essentially just like hide the things that we don't want to see. Um and then just save out those PNGs. Um so we don't have to look at them. Um
Yeah.
and I know where that is in every other program. It's, very easy to find. Uh and I found it right away, but then when I backed out, so instead of doing it instead of applying the layer instead of applying the mask to just a single layer, uh I was going to apply it to the whole layer group of like this chest. But for some reason it was in a different place than it was to just add a mask to an individual layer. They weren't like located in the same spot. Um if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, just trying to be like trying to figure out how to do the things that I want to do in this lousy program that like doesn't really work most of the time. If we do this. But what? Don't understand. This is just like I was talking about a minute ago. How they have this set up for this one program, it works differently than it does in any other program for some reason. So I don't understand. I might just end up doing it the way I was just talking about a minute ago. Uh,
Keeps you on your toes this way.
yeah, I guess.
You get bored otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. I might get stuff done otherwise.
Yeah,
Um,
keeps them guessing.
weird.
Make work. 1, 5.
Okay. Okay. Oh God. So again, in every other program, you should be able to apply a layer mask to a group of layers. And it gave me the options to do it like a few minutes ago, but then I was like, "Oh, but it doesn't function like how it's supposed to or whatever." And now I just got like a little like error notification thing that says like, "Oh, you can't apply masks to groups. Okay, so now you tell me. After you just let me, but didn't allow it to work a minute
Mm.
ago? I don't understand. Okay. Okay. Really annoying.
There we go.
Okay. Uh, Let me save. My phone got deleted. I actually care. I did. I'm gonna do this in a different way that actually works. How they've set this up is the worst way. I'm gonna do it a different way that I know will work.
Okay. From my side,
Yes.
I got the chest in a way that I would be happy with it, in theory. There's a chest, it's open. Any number of ingredients can appear above it. It would be very easy for me to create a shut one that I could click and it would just appear open, no animation, no tween. That would be easy. Instead, what I want now is I want to apply the 3D effects to the cards. I want the cards to look, the cards, the parchments,
Yeah.
perhaps, yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah,
Artworks.
I want those. Yeah, I want those to look 3D. So that's what I'm going to try and do. And ideally, I want them to look 3D the way your example was, so they look like they're kind of
Like fanned out.
fanned above the chest. That's
Yeah.
quite a subtle fanning, but
Yeah.
fanning nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I would like to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Uh,
I will have this to you in like 2 seconds. The front
all good.
piece of this.
No
If it helps. If it adds
problem.
adds
It
extra
will.
chaos in right now, don't worry about it.
No, it'll help a
at
lot
least
when I get to the doing bit.
like it.
Yeah.
All right, save this.
I'll be there soon. So I'm not quite at the doing bit. Okay, let me think about how 3D these things. Does this have a rotor? Not interesting. It should be 50. Where should this be? That. I should split this. Too deep. That. Save that.
All right, I'm gonna send this to you right
Cool.
there when you need it.
Thank you.
You for doing all the crazy bit.
That's that done. Name.
Get back to this coin now, I think.
Material. This. Good. Material image. Fine. We don't need any of that. Right. Get rid of stuff as well.
That works. So I know you're doing things that require concentration, but for just as a reminder, the coins add one extra action, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if the coins will make it into an actual playable game though,
Okay.
because I guess in theory your enemies could have them, and we could start your deck with them if we want you to be worse. The only one of the base, so of the base effects we have, the only one that actually gets used right now is the club. It's useful to give to bad enemies to let them bonk you without really causing any kind of threat.
Yeah.
The other ones are worse than that. But of all the games I've worked on, like most of them have never seen the light of day. Of all the games I've worked on, a coin asset is the asset I've collected the most of, because every
Okay.
game needs a coin asset at some point, right? At some point, you're going to have a currency. At some point, you're
Right.
going to need to buy a thing, sell a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it'll be nice to have for when we need it, whether it's on a card or, like you said, for some kind of currency or whatever.
hmm yeah. Even in my wildest dreams, it's still deep, deep capitalism.
Hey, I feel like it's a crucial part to, unfortunately, any thriving society, I guess. Word I'm looking for.
You would
Any
say that, yeah.
functioning society has some kind of monetary system built into it.
You would say that, you capitalist.
Oh, hi.
The hell is this thing doing? Every time I hover over my loot, it's just floating away from me. Come back. I don't know why. How strange. I don't know why it's just zooming like that. So strange to me. Have a look at the card containers. What was that thing?
What
Damage
do
card. Example card. It's not example card. It's not a card. Is it a 3D card? 3D card's my thing. So 3D. Oh, is it this? Card 3D. Maybe. No, it's not 3D. What's this guy floating around for? Okay, let's scale this back a bit. So, quantity. Irrelevant. Material image. Probably should stick around. Card name. Can be irrelevant for now. Irrelevant. Base image, sure. It's moving on its own. Roll until mouse enter is true.
where do you have like a preview screen of like where you can see the what you're doing take place? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can see it. I'm
Oh,
sure.
wait, I see it now. I understand. Okay. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Never mind. Ignore
Uh,
me. I
yeah,
saw
my
that, but for some reason I was thinking it was the piece of paper, not the like ingredient asset that was moving. Ah, there we
yeah,
go.
they're both. Yeah, they're both. I think this is. I think I'm telling it to do this in my infinite wisdom. There's one way to test, which is I go in Armory, I open a club. Yeah, it moves on its own. But I
I
never knew
noticed
that.
that. So there was something like an idle animation that I noticed yesterday. Uh
Well, this is
with
the first time I noticed it.
there
And
was
I put it in. Whoops.
I liked it because I was like, "Whoa, wait, it's moving." And then obviously, like, when the mouse interacts with it, it'll move and whatever too, which is always cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I hadn't noticed it either, and was like, "Whoa, wait, that's cool." And then did you oh another thing I wanted to ask? Did you add? Why is this happening? Thing.
So it's not catching my hover effect right now. This is the main thing. So, but why?
Would it be
No,
easier
it's oh god.
I was gonna say if for the ingredient um like pop-ups or whatever, would it be easier if we gave those like if you just had like I don't know how that works. I guess that doesn't make sense. Ignore that. I was gonna say you could just have like the whole parchment page kind of like do like a subtle hover like it's idling after the initial opening like sequence plays. Um
The idling is cool. I'm so down for it. But I want it to also it's like not interacting with my mouse right now. Which means I've broken something. With the
that's
club,
never
look, if I
good.
go on the four corners, it like goes zoop, 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 zoop. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
I understand.
Um,
Yeah, that would be
but
very cool.
feels like you're looking at it,
Yeah,
which is really what
agree.
I want. So I'll
Or
bark.
it's that time for us here where people are getting home from work now, so he's got to be on high alert. Or at least he thinks he does. He doesn't really, but he has to let everyone know that he's on duty.
Probably that this thing is an absolute position. Nope.
Dry dog. Hey, thanks for thanks for helping fix the internet recently. That was a big help.
Yeah, the biggest. Yeah,
What the
more.
hell up?
Yeah, I think it's fixed. I think it's sorted. The yeah for anyone who's interested in my internet issues, which I will assume is most of you.
Yeah,
It was
if you're not, then
bouncing between.
you can leave.
Yeah, that's the wrong stream for you. It was bouncing between 2 gigahertz and 5, which Rydog had before. and now he suggested that I force it onto one channel, and I was like, sure, I'll try it, and it worked. It worked. It seems to just be better, better, and I think I'm on 5 gigahertz. So yeah, let it force it to make a decision,
Yeah,
and everything's grand. Okay,
good.
this
Like it.
this rolling thing, I'm going to consider a non-issue for a minute.
Add it to the list. Make them roll.
Quite good. Right, so 10, was it 10, 10? Oh, it's way too much. 5, 5. And what was the other thing? So I don't. This is all shit. I don't. That garbage. Okay. 25 on the top. All of the good things. Right, padding probably doesn't matter. Margin top matter. Width full is done. Z index seems to be done. Top 25. Done. Blue is done. So I now need the tailwind font size. Nice. Give me the actual. Let me force. Top. And 1, 2. Alright. So this bad boy. Max height 200. No, that should be 150. Probably need a top 5 on it. We need to drop that down as well. Okay, this loot drop things starting to look not too awful.
Nice.
Highest
Yeah.
praise I'm capable of giving. So let's put the rest back on, I guess. Watch them idle.
Make this bigger because I'm
Not bad. I might bring the text closer. See if the effect probably less subtle. That's what we want here. The name here translated. Maybe I don't know 50.
that's gonna be cool. I'm excited for that.
Oh, that doesn't look great actually. Bit too much. No, I really want it quite close. I want it attached to the parchment.
Yeah, I feel like that
0.
is like one of those like super like finicky things where it's like, well, I want to create that effect, but I don't want it to be like too exaggerated, so it
Oh
becomes
my
like,
god. I just found out why I can't hover on them. That's fantastic.
oh, that's good.
Oh, that's so good. That's gonna really annoy me otherwise.
Nice.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I can hover on each one, and it does its little thing.
That's cool.
Okay, it's extremely subtle. I might want to find a way of ramping it up, like give it a more dramatic 3D.
I'm here for it. I think that would be cool.
So hmm. That's actually going to be annoying to do. So
Ah, that's even worse.
we are in business. This is all good news. Keep losing Twitch. Oh, here we are. It's back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
was like, I was backwards to what I expected, but that's fine, I guess. Change that and see what happens. Yeah, they start rotated, and as you hover over them and off, they kind of straighten out. Weird. Fine though. Not too bothered.
Here, wait, hover
Okay,
over
so
them again, just to show. Morgan just got home from work, so I was showing her. Isn't that cool?
so cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so now I'm gonna pipe them some rotation. Gonna have to do some maths. Live
Uh-oh.
maths.
We talked about this last week. Neither of us know how to do that.
We agreed. Never do math. Okay? Never. So let's do the quantity as the math, as the rotation. And that means my brain works in degrees. Whoa, this is going to get very mathsy. My brain works in
Alright, pop
degrees.
off.
Yeah, here we go. So we're going to say that the first one is minus 45. That's even, yeah. And then the next one will be minus 22. And then it will be 0. And then it'll be 22. This mouse is so annoying. 45. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to give them. Imagine we take a semicircle and then we divide it into sections. The middle one should be standing straight up, and then they should all be fanned out slightly. Now
Yeah.
I'm setting those values myself now, but I'm going to work them out dynamically
Yeah.
later, so I
Yeah.
don't have to ever do math again. So now, in theory, I can give the rotate Z the rotation. Okay, they're barely rotated. So why would that be? Why would that happen? So let me add it to their name so that I'm not losing my mind. Oh, they all still say 3. Yeah, of course. So I'm stupid. That's why. There we go.
Oh.
Okay. So this is good. They're two. So the further from 0 that the rotation is. No. Yeah, the further from 0 that the rotation is, the lower they should be. I think. So. Oh, actually, I can't. Can I do that here? This is actually pretty good. The rotation like this is fine. And then what we want to do is either X or Y needs to rotate as well, but probably not as much. Is that the wrong way?
Whoa. The one on the far right is going
Wild.
crazy.
Is that better? It's that, but it's reversed, right? So it's the other way.
Yeah.
Is that right? My
That can't
brain
be
is like,
right.
what?
Huh. Wait.
Yeah, it could be
Can
this.
you?
What if
Whoa.
I do? So the only thing is, once I touch it, it goes back to normal. It tries to hide. Great. Go back. Okay, so this is sort of like a fan. These two, this one's flat. These two are rotated out that way.
Oh wait, I actually took a
And the
screenshot
inner
the other
one
day
goes-
of like this will maybe not help you at all, But I just sent you this.
Perfect. Send it my way.
Yeah. Of just like
Yeah,
a
this
fanned out hand of
yeah,
cards.
so this is a simple fan, and this is reasonably easy. But when we've got a hand of cards, so the reason this
For
is worth
that,
solving
that works. Yeah.
exactly, the reason this is worth solving properly and to have some
Right.
flexibility is I can apply it to the hand of cards next,
Right.
and it'll make the game feel so much more like you've got a hand of cards, and it's
Yeah,
not just this
definitely.
fucking horrible scroll right now. So I'm like, oh, I'll solve it properly. I'll understand it.
Yeah.
But I think we want a slightly different fan. You can have a more
Right.
dramatic fan on loot, but it's still it's a bit crazy. It doesn't look good like the fan right now, but that's okay. We're gonna make it look good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is better. There's still this problem where the height makes a big difference. So if can I like do a reverse? Let's try this. So the body here, can I just go like top 30? Nope, that does not work. Here, position relative, fine. Top minus 30. Yeah, that did work. Okay, cool. So here I can do curve top equal to rotation. The way to force I really don't know math. Math to make a number always positive.
Oh.
Squaring the number. ABS, that's a yeah. Math.abs. Right. We love math. So now this will always be positive, and we can do minus curve top. Okay, that's the wrong way. So curve top. Excellent.
Hey,
And this
that's
can
looking a lot
be,
better.
yeah, 50 plus curve top. Nope, wrong way. Minus 50 plus curve top. Okay, probably a bit too much, but it's the right direction. There we go. So I still think that this other rotation actually doesn't help us
So
do
I think,
anything.
okay, hold on. Actually, is there a way to change the vertical height of these assets right
Yes.
now? So I think if you lower the ones on each end, so the furthest left one and the furthest right one, if you bring them down a little bit, I think that will help this curve.
Like that?
I think a little bit more. So like, so it makes like a, where am I? Like an arch shape kind of thing. So like here, let me draw what I'm talking about. Wait. Like a rainbow essentially, where the top of your cards are kind of all meeting along like the same top of the arc. So if this is the arc that we have constructed, um wanting it to be like, okay, the tops of these cards are, make this brighter. um, like
Yeah, that would work.
going along the
That
curve.
that would again work in two scenarios: a true fan, in which case you'd want them to be tighter together as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the other scenario that it would work well is if the parchment was exactly square, it would be a bit.
That makes sense. Would that be easier? Because that would take absolutely no
Well,
time at all on my end. If you would,
well, I don't think so. We want this to be like fun, right? You're going to hover over them and look, but it doesn't for the cards. Yeah, like the cards are going to need to be nearly exactly,
yeah,
like not square, but flat. Do you know what I mean? The edges would
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
line up. But I'm gonna cheat anyway. I'm gonna like a
I like it.
dirty cheater, which is I'm gonna show the background image, um,
Hmm.
which is actually, and then I'm going to hide the chest that was open. Yeah, perfect. And I'm going to put some opacity here. Basically, I'm tracing. I'm doing the
Yeah.
program equivalent of tracing.
I mean, hey,
Um,
if it works,
go.
I like it.
This is, and then I'm going to make it so I only have 3 of these to worry about for now. I don't need the first one or the last one. Right, number one. Right. All right, so mine are quite a bit bigger. There's a too much height differential here. There shouldn't be 3. That could be 2. 2's pretty close. All need to come down a bit. It's better. Oh, interesting. So, saying rotate Z. There's also a translate Z. Or I could have it. What is curve top? Other minus curve. Pretty. And rotation needs to be diverging. Maybe curve top more dramatic. Yeah. Times 2. Don't think I can have it rolling for now. Oh, rotation here isn't enough anymore. That's very nice. False 3D is correct. One turn is false. Yeah. Rotation's good. That rotation's good. Send them further back. That crazy. It's much closer to what you've pictured in yours. And now the rotation's too much. Again. Divide that. Go. Curve top. And be reduced. Not that much. So, really close. As it's I think this is one. Let's start back pedal. Just back. Visible. Yep. One again. Rotation for the name. Now the ultimate test does work with pretty good. Um, maybe want to close that gap. To even what was what I have turned on? No, it can't happen. What do you think about this?
Hey, I like that.
This is close.
Yeah, that's
I get
cool.
it really. This is really close to yours, and then extend it out so that it supports up to 5. In theory, you
Yeah.
could go more, but
How this is gonna be a pain potentially. Can okay, hold on. The two on the far edges, can you bring them just a little bit closer to the three in the center?
I knew you were going to say that, and you're right about it being a pain.
I know, I'm
but,
sorry.
but yes, I can. Okay, so go up top. There's a large number. So
Hold on,
that.
wait. If this let me do something. Give me 2 seconds before you. Okay.
This could be.
Let me throw this in Photoshop real quick. And then, because I know it was potentially easier for you to kind of like trace it from that. So I'm gonna try and give you.
No, because I just got. It's actually. I think it's better just for me to for us to
Okay.
fill this out. Fill this out together. Let's
Yeah.
go with. Okay, let's try. Right. How's that look? Horrible. I
I
agree.
love it.
Uh,
That's very good.
um, +5.
uh,
No, divided by 4, maybe 2. There we go. Right. How's that? Oh, my internet gone
uh-oh.
down?
I was gonna say it was too powerful. I don't know.
It has. Oh no,
That is
we celebrated too soon.
better. Hold on. I do think the rotation is slightly off to where they should be rotated, like angled inwards, slightly more. Give me 2 seconds. I'm almost done with this thing. And then I'll just send it to you just so I'm better at visually representing things I'm trying to say than actually talking. Let me do this real quick. This that is seriously so close. What you have currently. Um so okay. Something like that maybe.
Look. Oh, you think the ones on the ends are too rotated?
I think so. So they look a little bit different. So the one farthest to the right, I think could come inwards just a little bit. Uh Rotation wise, not like physical placement, but like just be rotated maybe like
Yeah, it
2
was.
degrees
It
inwards.
was like this. It was
Mm,
like this. So it's kind of pointing at the corner of the one next to it. And you said rotate. I saw yours, and I think closer is like this.
yeah.
So now its rotation's very similar to yours, as is the one on the other side. And it
Yeah.
looks like yours are both further down and further in as well. Like my curvature should be more extreme, and my
I think
margins
you can, yeah,
should be
bring them all
even
kind of
more.
closer together. Whoa.
Too
Yeah.
much, too much, too much. Like this is good, and
Yeah.
then um, and then weirdly that makes the middle one.
I was gonna say that now, like, take those side 4 and bring them all collectively closer to the middle. It'd be cool if you could, like, group things to just
Plus
sort of pull
5.
them together.
Let's go 10, 20, 30.
So the ones on the edge are
Yeah.
Whoa.
There we go. This has brought them in and kept the ones on the edge quite okay. And then we're thinking about curve, and we can actually curve more like this. Yeah. Let's curve more. This one, to my eyes, looks pretty close to yours.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Something.
Actually, that's really close.
Yeah, I do think for sure this is the closest one. This stop. App, go away. Okay, so man, that is cool. I do like that. Hang on, I am checking a bunch of things. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think it's fine to leave it like this for the
Yeah,
foreseeable
definitely.
future.
I
And
agree.
you can still see the old one below. 3 greyed out bones,
Yeah,
and a big
right.
button
Yeah.
saying "Collector."
Yeah.
More my immersion. Um, yeah,
It's too real. Yeah, that looks cool.
now I get the fun of making it work with all quantities.
Right.
At the moment, we're about to find out how this holds up. Not well is the answer, but I'd like to see it myself. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, ingredients. Ingredients. String. Identify ingredients. Oh, fine. So -45 plus.
But I'm not. I just want to move this, please.
9. I feel like this looks alright for 4 items. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
The
Looks
only
good.
one I think that the one I think that doesn't look good is 2 and maybe 1. 3 looks fine to me.
Okay.
So that's 3 again, 3 again. There we go. This doesn't look great to me.
I think for you said N1 doesn't look good.
I'm assuming based on the math that 1 won't look good, but I don't actually know.
I think you can just. Hmm.
4 looks good. I don't always get a spike, so I could land on 1. I can force a 1 if I
Oh,
need
I
to.
understand it. It's just like a random.
Yeah, this is real loot from this fight.
Okay.
So this is how often they'd look like this. Kind of
I
helpful.
think
So it turns
two
out
for
1's very
two,
rare.
you could just make them like kind of like the same size and closer to each other. Oh, I see. Here's one.
Oh, 1's actually fine.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I don't hate that. But the 2 was horrible. The 2, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think just for two, just make them closer to the same size and almost next to each other. Like you can still have them like kind of offset a little bit, but in terms of like the angle that they're at, but I think
Yeah.
I think putting them closer to the same size will help it not feel like this.
I change something. It's likely to look a bit
Yeah,
wild.
I saw that.
Honestly.
Whoa.
Let's see if 2 looks good in this world. Nope. Definitely doesn't. Great. Do I just...
What's up? What are you thinking?
I think for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to decide the values. Yeah, so, right, let's do this. Okay, ingredient. Rotation. Basically, I'm going to set the values so we can control it rather than trying to use magic math to determine it every time. So we'll have a layout for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right, they're the
I
layouts.
like that. Yeah.
I'm not calculating the layout. I'll use the
Right.
maths I've already got, but I'll tell it a bit stronger than I'm letting it go wild.
Yeah.
So ingredients rotation, and that needs an index and length. Okay, so if length equals 1, then there's no rotation. It's a 0. And then so I'll write them out and then we'll test them. And I'll force the numbers rather than refreshing like mad to start with. Yeah, and then we can see them all.
Nice.
So just do this. And now let me return 0 as well. Return 0. Rotation. And ingredient length. News. That's going to return. 22. Solved. Should have done that from the start. Oh well. We
Hey, we
we
tried
learn
it.
these things as we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we
Now we
did.
know next time what not to do or what
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Static gradients. Fine. ID. Scripture. I'll let you look at it with me so we can put this to bed. Not have to worry about it again. One. Save that into that, and save. Great. Okay. This is 1.
Nice.
Cool. This is 2.
Nice. I like that.
This is 3.
Nice. Yeah, these look good. These look a lot better, I think.
This is
Nice.
4.
I do like 4.
And this is 5.
Nice. Yeah, those look
And
great.
I'm going to make one for 6 and 7, and then ignore the problem probably until the game releases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
I was not going to, and then my brain's like, but what if you decide you'll have to come back and fix it later? And I'm like, no, I
Right.
don't want to. I don't want to fix it later. I want to fix it now.
Yeah. I
Okay,
get
so yeah.
that. I am very much the same way.
So 6. Cool.
Nice.
Okay, this is 6,
Nice. Yeah, that looks cool.
and this is 7.
Yeah. I like it.
That's wild. That's wild. If you've got 7 things dropping, like, yeah, I admit it's fucking
Yeah.
spread, but
Yeah.
we'll live with it.
Yeah.
As we should. Fuck. My annoyance is that this is good and fine and great, and I'm happy, but the job isn't done, right? Because you don't just want the ingredients to appear in front of you, although that would be an upgrade. You
Right.
want to be able to open the chest, and you want it to be cool, and then also you want a cool way of collecting them.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to work backwards here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the old stuff, make a nice collect button. This will become the new collect screen.
Right. And then
That's
just
good. We're happy,
eventually
and then yeah, and
swap
then
that.
some
Yeah.
precisely.
Yeah.
So don't need this anymore. Great. I'll probably leave that click button for now, actually. Be interested to see what this div looks like. Okay. How do you think about this for the collect screen? The loot screen.
Yeah, I think that works.
Because there's not enough contrast. Just
Right. That
straight
is like
drops of
another
death.
thing too of like another thing that is on my list of like have an actual like design for this, exactly this, like for your drops collection screen. Um yeah, that is on my list. But for the time being, it absolutely works.
I'll be right back. 2 minutes again.
Okay, yeah. Switch it over to the draw mode. I'm just messing around right now, trying to figure out what I want these coins to look like, and I think this is one of the reasons I'm maybe not struggling, because I don't think I'm struggling right now at this moment. But I think that the design for this is very likely to change, uh, just depending on what we end up actually using it. Um, whether that's like an actual currency, like in-game currency, that you earn, or if it's like a card or something like that. But we know that it likely won't be used for that. Um, so just trying to want it to look cool, but also not like any one thing specifically. Um, See, that's what I'm afraid of. Not that that's a bad thing. That is a good thing. Oh, I did not want to do that. Down. So the first one I did was like I thought it'd be cool to do like our little like eye logo. I think that's cool, but also then like if this is like the studio, the brand, and it doesn't really make sense for the game itself, like the individual game. So I want to do something just more kind of generic, like just a cool coin. Um, but since we haven't gotten to like any of the boss designs or anything like that yet, um, specifically, I don't know what that is gonna look like. What I'm gonna end up making our characters look like, or any of our enemies, or anything like that. Um, so it could change a little bit. I think the base coin that I have here will absolutely work for its intended purpose, and then this is easy just to swap out whatever we want in the center of this. Uh, if we end up going with something different or whatever. Are you back? I hear rustling of
Sorry. My mic gets very sensitive when I'm gone, but I am back. But you could hear me coming into the room.
Oh, that's okay. I
I didn't
just
even have my headphones on, and I heard you go, "Are you back?" And I was like, "Oh damn,
uh-oh.
rumbles."
Yeah, my bad. I was not trying to rush you. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't just on a different screen and you're like, I've been back for
Streaming away,
20
rather.
minutes now. Cool. Um
tell you what, game's fucking easy when it auto drops the loot for you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we might be onto something with you can never lose this game. That's game 2. It's just the easiest game. You can never lose. Okay, this is good enough.
As a wise man once said, I just win, 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 no matter what.
Exactly. What do I want to do? I want
Whoa. What the hell gave me my instant win that time? If the enemy's health is less than 10, they die. No thanks.
yeah,
Not a
very
reasonable
easy game.
thought.
The game for babies.
Easy life. You ever play any uber toxic games?
Oh,
No. Okay.
what is this?
No,
Speak.
like a game like Dota 2.
Oh, I understand. I mean, I told you
You said you played League, right?
briefly, not really enough to get the experience of literally like my first time playing some guy like being like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do that? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I
I'm
literally have
new
no
here.
idea,
I
dude.
just got here. This is my first match. And then it was like not many more matches after that before I was like, I get it. I understand. And then I just kind of
Yeah.
left it.
Yeah, no, you 100% get it. You've lived it.
Exactly. I mean, we were in like a big Fortnite thing for a while where that's essentially all we played. Which I mean, if you if you consider like, oh, getting headshot by like a 10-year-old and then getting like
Dancing on your
Dougie'd
corpse.
on your corpse, yeah, then that's kind of toxic. Uh,
Yeah, it is. Fortnite
I
can be
mean,
toxic.
I used to play like Call of Duty and stuff like that, like way back in the day when it was, my opinion, my hot take, when it was still fun.
Well, it's still good.
Yeah, back in my
Good old
day,
days.
yeah. um, I
Anyway, that just used to be a phrase that I just remember hearing when people used to type in "easy game, easy life"
yeah, yeah.
in toxic games. Yeah.
um,
Well, that's it. Looting achieved.
we did
So at
it.
least I did one thing on my list today. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's pretty good.
I didn't finish it, but I'll just ignore that for a minute.
Yeah,
The new
that's all
test
right.
is in. Let me add art review. What does art review mean? What did I add that for? That's probably, yeah, it's probably card.
Actually,
Art review.
um,
New chest in. Okay, so better looting experience. And that'll be animations. That can be on the list. Fine. Okay. So permanent progression code, that's a big job. Choose a handful of dungeons. Yeah, we could do that actually. So we got the goblin dungeon. I think we should keep that. I think there
yeah,
should be a dungeon that doesn't teach you any new mechanics. Like you've not just started playing,
yeah,
you're learning healing, extraction, damage, shield. You're learning all the basic ones anyway.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with
So
that.
fine. I think we should leave Krypton for now.
Hmm. I mean, I
Just like
really do like the necromancer and everything up before that is like skeletons and stuff. I do think that's cool. Personally. just as
Sweet.
a dungeon design or whatever
And
theme.
what do we want to be? If we choose one each, and then we can choose our last one tactically later.
Hmm.
So we'll end up with 5, which we said was a pretty good amount, right?
Yeah, I think
Uh,
somewhere
what am I
around there.
looking- So we could do 4, assuming the 2 we've got and the 2 we're about to choose,
Hmm.
and then we could do more later.
That is a great question. Let me pull up my list real quick.
That's what I just did. Yeah.
Would help if I had them added. I didn't add them to Notion yet. Let me.
Yeah, they're in Notion. They're in Notion.
They
I'll
are.
send you the link. Yeah, there's some
Oh
genius
wait,
added them.
I think I did this in
There you go. Card building.
word
Called
building.
card building. Not in world building, which is entirely different
Yeah,
building.
to open.
So where are we? Okay, so we're near us a streaming Notion.
Yeah,
Potentially
I'm
okay.
I'm trying to find it. Not find it. I found it. Here it is. Okay, I will be streaming Notion. And do one of these guys if we want to. Oh wait, hold on. Where did you go? There you go. Okay, cool. Moving you all over the place for a second because I'm sure. All right. Here we go. So currently we have, and this hasn't been touched or edited. This was copy and pasted from whatever Google Doc we had made,
Mhm.
not too long ago. Because I see we have like the muddlers and stuff like that on there. So we have
Mm.
the old graveyard or the crypt, um, which is tied to puncture. Then we have desecrated temple. Um, we have a haunted castle. The blood manor. I want to keep the blood manor. If we're picking one from this or whatever, I want to absolutely have like vampires and uh stuff like that.
Okay,
But I
cool.
also
Yeah,
do very much like the dark forest to have like the vampire werewolf counterpart kind of thing. Um
yeah. Werewolves, Auto Hill. Yeah, let's do those 2. Let's do vampires and werewolves.
um
So
and I know our if we if I screen share to you through Discord, everything dies. Uh everything ceases to exist. So just in case there is a lag, our other and if for whatever reason you're not looking at it, I'm just gonna read out all the ones we came up with so far, just in case. So we have the crypt with the necromancer, desecrated temple with a demon, a haunted castle with the ghost king, blood manor with the vampire lord, the enchanted forest, which is different than the dark forest. This one is yellow vines and a treant. Then we have the dark forest with the werewolves. We have a pit with the snake and man serpent. An evil tower with an evil mage and a lich, which is also good. Um, but I think we never mind. Then we have the dark monastery. For the shadow monk and the master of shadows. That's cool. Also, the muddlers. With no eyes and no eyes boss. The ice cave with ice guy and ice guy boss, and then a dragon lair. with a
Man,
hatchling and dragon.
those ideas were running dry towards the end, though. Yeah, it's the ice place with the ice guys and
And then
the ice guy
it
boss.
continues to kind of deteriorate from there. Other ones we had were just grove, lake,
Yeah,
big tree with
hmm,
birds and
you,
bird people. I do like
you
that
could.
though.
I
And
do too.
then here was our goblin outpost, which gets bumped up. Then we had a cave for a slime, and then a quarry with some kind of rock golem. Um, but yeah, it slowly like deteriorates as we move along. And this was entirely again just the very first
Spitball.
talks of like, okay, what are some things and what are the status effects that we want to, introduce, and different mechanics that we'd like to introduce, and what are potential enemies that make sense with that general typing. Um okay. So what, now having heard all of them, what are your opinions? Do you have has anything changed? Has anything kind of
No,
uh
we should do vampires and werewolves. I think there's a few reasons. If we have goblins, necromancer, vampires and werewolves, it's good. It fits the mold. It fits the expectations. Vampires and werewolves are like quite a classical enemy, and I think it
mhm,
means that we can lean in or against type, which is cool. And then on a
yeah,
purely practical level, which is how I was going to choose mine, I was going to basically say that I don't. There's a few in here I don't really want to implement if we're only doing a couple.
okay,
A good example of that is like stun, muddle, and bind, which we said blocks draw. So
mhm,
stun, I think would be super hard to make fun. Muddle, I think will take so much work. Forest, I think will be so hard to balance. Where like they're blocking your draw, and then when you play, you want cards that block draw. Anyway, but werewolves and vampires are not on that list of like it's hard to implement. I think it's easy, it's straightforward. It's those
yeah,
mechanics exist in other games, and I also think they if we balance them right, we'll have the choice of either one is easy and one is hard, or they're both the same difficulty. This could
right,
be where your path forks. Like you could do the Goblin Dungeon, then the Skeleton Dungeon, and then you could choose: do you want to fight vampires or werewolves? And depending on which one you choose, your deck will become stronger in another way. Obviously, you'll end up doing them both, but to start with,
right.
on a clear one.
Yeah, I like that. Um,
Can you see Rydog's suggestion?
I did. I was waiting for a natural pause. I think that's incredibly cool. how how
Right.
can we implement that in like a way that makes sense, like for the dungeons? Well, I think that one thing we had talked about just in chat the other day or whatever, of like, oh, I think it would be interesting, or a little add to like the fun element of it, to have just different enemy spawns throughout them. I think it one thing that could be cool is that, so we know that we want to encourage like the grinding loop of this game. What if is this even a possibility um to incorporate something like this? But what if it's like, oh, you okay, start at the Goblin Outpost, and then you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna bounce to, the Blood Manor next or whatever. Um, and then is there a way that, trying to think how it could be cool. I was gonna say like, is there a way that then when you loop back, and if you revisit the Goblin Dungeon for resources or whatever, that then there's like some of those random enemy variants could be like, oh, we know that you have gone through the Blood Manor, now it is a possibility that there's like anytime you go back to like the goblin camp or anywhere we might see goblins again, there would be like vampire variants of them, but having it triggered in that way of
Yeah,
like, oh, it knows that
which
you've gone to those dungeons, so now that you know, oh,
definitely
vampires and werewolves exist, now it adds in like that to the mix a little bit.
that's definitely possible. We could also make it really. We could get a bit clever with it, which is they'd use some vampire and werewolf mechanics, so they'd feel like you're fighting a goblin vampire, as an example, or goblin werewolf. And then
That is also
you could
really
also
cool.
have
What Rye Dog
you
just
could
said.
also um, then what you could also have it was if you're going back to the goblin dungeon, it's probably because you're farming some goblin loot. Like say goblins
Right.
at the moment, what do they drop? They drop monocles sometimes. Okay, I don't know why. That's just one of the things I wrote down. The fact that they drop monocles means if you've gone back, you're probably farming something like monocles. We can make it so when you encounter a weregoblin, they're much more likely to drop like a handful of monocles instead of just one. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you're
that would
looping
be
back
cool.
to some. This content is back. It's easier for you. You should already be able
Right.
to smash it.
Yeah.
You've defeated it before. You've gone further. You've come back. Well, okay. The reward for this is sometimes you get enemies which kind of 5 times your loot, so that you have to grind for less time.
Right.
But it's harder as well, right? If you're like, that's annoying. He's got werewolf mechanics.
Right.
What did Ryan say? Oh, like a choice. Vampires and werewolves are growing out of control. Whichever one you don't fight expands their reach and spreads to vast dungeon. Oh, that is cool, actually.
That is really cool. Ooh, wait. So, oh man, that that gives me another idea of like just expanding on that. Uh, what if it triggers after you, like the first time you die or whatever, to the vampires or the werewolves, and then it whatever, then you get like a message like that where it's like, oh hey, like you were, you died while trying to clear the vampire dungeon, and now like their forces grow ever stronger. So then when you go back and revisit some of the other dungeons, then you start to see these like vampire variants or
Mm.
the werewolf variants. That could be cool.
Yeah, that could be cool. So to bring us back closer to where we are now,
Yeah.
we sort of know what the goblin deck looks like, but we should
Hmm.
think ahead about what a werewolf and
Yeah,
vampire deck might look like.
I
So
agree.
the vampire mechanic is called bloodlust, and for argument's sake, we'll say caster a double damage buff for X turns, and the werewolf one is called regeneration. Which gives the caster a healing buff, which heals. Oh, did I ever expand this one enough to make it? Oh, to make it explained. I think it heals X at the start of X turns. So I think it's like I think the werewolf one gets out of control quite quick, and I think the bloodlust one's the same. But I quite like that. I think that
Hmm.
makes it fun.
Yeah.
These two mechanics are one of the ones to me where, so at the moment, something like one action is very similar to one damage. Like they're about the same in terms of strength. The thing I'm excited about bloodlust and regeneration is I think they'll be significantly stronger than one damage.
Oh yeah, I agree.
and that's just
I
cool. That
absolutely
just
agree.
um. Anyway, so that's their core mechanic.
Yeah,
Um.
I like that a lot.
So think of so there's two vampires. Oh, there could be more than two, but what sort of deck do we think? What kind of cards do they have? Keep in mind that you can gain these cards even if
Right.
you're not a vampire.
Hmm. That is a good question. Because I feel like what I'm trying to think at this moment, um, is oh, um, we want it to be like exactly like you said, like cards that the vampires will also be using. So it's not necessarily stuff that drops from them, um,
No.
like resources or anything like that, but like what spells or incantations or weapons or whatever would they be fighting with? Um,
Yeah.
that also fits within the theming for these new mechanics. I mean, they're, for a lack of a better name in the moment, like they're most likely should be like a bite attack, right? Uh, like some kind of like
I'm very hesitant to have a bite attack.
okay,
It does make our job harder, okay, a lot harder. But and actually, these two aren't that bad because
yeah,
these two can use things. But later,
right,
when you're fighting a dragon,
right. Then it's like, what is the likelihood that that would even hit?
dragon might not. Yeah, he might not even be the worst one. There's probably some, yeah, like a slime.
That's what I
What
was thinking too. The slime, like, how would you, how would you bite
what
that
cards
slime?
does this? What does the card? What no, like, what cards does the slime have that you then get later?
Yeah, it is. I think that if it's like you said, it wouldn't necessarily be weapons, but it would just be like
But at the moment, our card theme is things, right?
right,
Like
yeah. And so I'm trying to think of
object.
it like coming back to like Pokemon or whatever, where instead of like, oh, it's not a physical object necessarily, but it's more so an attack or whatever, right? So
Yeah,
like
but
acid
that
splash or like something like that.
yeah,
Uh
but that's the problem, right? A
yeah,
vampire signature move would probably be neck bite.
yeah,
Okay, that's not a great name, but it's fine.
yeah.
You, it is kind of strange for you to gain the neck bite card,
Right. Yeah, I
for you
agree.
to go to the smith and build the neck bite item.
Right. Right.
It
um
also breaks the theme, right? Because we don't. Short sword isn't called quick slash.
yeah,
Elvish
exactly.
cloak isn't called like, yeah,
Um
hide beneath cloak. So they're all items. Now,
yeah,
I think we can solve this with vampire werewolves. I'm not too
I
worried.
do. Yeah, I agree.
It's there are enemies like a slime, which I don't
Where
know
it's
if we
like,
can.
what does that look like? What does that even, what would that be? Um and okay, so problem A, B, I was gonna say crisis averted, but I was gonna say, okay, instead of just like, oh, it's like a slime, like a little like ball of slime or like a gelatinous cube kind of thing. Um, it could just be like, oh, it is like a slime creature, okay, just because it's made out of slime doesn't mean that it doesn't utilize like, you know. some kind of weapon or something. Um,
Yeah, it's true. Um, Dog car building. Skeletons fine, vampires fine, ice enemy probably fine, serpent, yeah, probably fine, forest, one of the harder ones, the muddlers probably fine, holy consoles probably fine, Dartmoor Street fine, desecrated temple probably fine. Yeah, the hard ones are only dragon layer and the forest.
I think you can still do it. Just
So
reframe
do
it
I.
in a way that they're just like, yes, it is the vampire dungeon and werewolf dungeon and what the slime dungeon, whatever it is. But instead of, I think you can, and I absolutely agree. Some of them will be a little bit more challenging, where it's like, oh, but what would that be, or what would that look like, or whatever. For some of these enemies, but I think that we could, um, we'll figure it out when the time comes. But I think like just make it type specific weapons or whatever. So like you could have like some kind of like fang themed item,
Yes.
and it's like a
Yeah.
spear or something, or like the bloodletter bow or something like that, where
Yeah,
they're
I agree.
different. There, I think a scythe would be cool for a vampire, like uh the crimson scythe or something like that, like uh
Yeah.
where they're still just weapons or items or whatever, but they deal status effect kind of damage that is unique to those specific ones. Uh Stupid Alexa thing is going off in the background screaming at me for some reason. Um yeah, and like you said, like I think some of them will be harder when you get to like the slimes or whatever. I think the dragon one actually won't be that bad, because if you make it, and maybe this is not as fun or exciting, I think it still works though. Like instead of like, oh, it is like the dragon's lair necessarily or whatever, like thinking more like, oh, a giant like dragon that you're about to fight or whatever. It could be more like, um God, what are like dragon people? Like uh
Dragons can use items. If the dragon's quite late in the game, it'll just have a bunch of badass shit, right?
yeah, exactly. Like I don't know, like
It's going to be weird if he
uh
uses a short bow, but when he uses like crowns and spells, and that's not
yeah.
gonna you're not gonna be what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we could even theme it up a bit, right? Like as you fight him, he can release a line of dialogue, like you know,
That's what I think could be cool.
many have tried what you have. I look forward to adding your items to my collection.
Yeah.
And then he bangs out some sick staffs, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
fine,
right.
I get it. I've been smashed up.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, spit me some item names for vampires or werewolves.
Oh man. You could have for vampires like a shadow whip or something like that. Um I mean, I really do like the hold on, where was it? Um way get rid of this. There we go. Trying to remember what I think the bloodthirsty needle works there too if you wanted to. Uh we already have it and it fits like the
This
general
is
theme.
I consider this an absolute win, by the way. The other one I included that was like that was oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, I considered uh the bone amulet.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I think the bone amulet actually maybe it's maybe this is funnier, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to lean into. Kind of maybe fits with the werewolf better.
Okay.
I mean, I can see it going either way.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, you're right.
I think you
Actually,
could be like,
that's
oh, it's a dog. Like he has like a bone necklace. Like that's pretty fun. But it also makes sense for a vampire too. Like, yeah, why wouldn't he have just like this sick bone necklace that he wears? Um,
yeah, yeah, that's true.
I feel like there could be like a staff of some kind for the vampires if you wanted to. Like, oh, they're you know, why not have magic wielding vampires? Um,
Yeah, let's say staff of darkness for now.
yeah, that's cool. Um, trying to think of like more like adjectives for blood loss and stuff. Um,
Yeah, not a ton of new weapons get introduced in the first two dungeons, new cards get
yeah,
introduced in the first two dungeons, but that's okay. You are still learning the mechanics and stuff. Um, it's nice to have a big long list of cool things that then when I try and balance them out,
right.
I can draw like, oh, this one fits for this one fits for this, and then we can start solidifying on art as well. Like, oh, the Nightblade has these stats and it's definitely going in. Would be useful to know sooner
Yeah,
rather than later. And you could be like, cool, I'm going to draw a sick Nightblade. Or the Staff of Darkness or whatever. Like it's
right.
in or
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
out based on the stats it has and how useful it is for the enemy to have. Basically, so, yeah.
yeah. I like that.
Um,
You could do like a oh man. Uh, hold on. Let me make this big so I can see. Oh, I guess I could also just open Ocean, and not be crazy. Wait, where is this at? Is this in world building? No.
my thing is under dock. I just made a new thing called Werewolves and Vampires,
Okay, I understand. Uh,
just to spitball some ideas around.
yeah, cool. Uh, I just wanted to open it too so I could see what we have so far. So we have Bloodfang for a dagger, Crimson Scythe, Nightblade, Drain Blood for a spell, Crimson Ward, Shadow Whip, Staff of Darkness. Um, I'm thinking like, what are those even called?
I think if we think that these items are a good representation of vampire, we can move on from the vampire. This is a good enough list for now,
I
and
mean,
we can
it
plug
is
this.
a good amount. My thing is like, oh,
For
I'm just gonna keep going. We're gonna have so many.
werewolves,
Yeah.
werewolves with Slim.
What
I've
do
struggled to
let's
build,
see. Regenerate.
and their thing is regeneration, right? So their items. So with the vampires, it's quite clear what their win condition is, right? They're going to
Right.
bloodlust themselves, then hurt you, which will kill you quickly. So they'll probably be pretty terrifying. The werewolves is the complete opposite, which is that they'll slowly buff themselves to where they feel basically invincible. You'll probably
Yeah.
have to combo them. Yeah, you'll probably have
Hmm.
to you probably have to combo them. In fact, the
Oh.
werewolves might not be
You
fun.
could have like, oh, you already have Moonclaw. Man, I do like that. Um, like Lunar Gauntlets or something like that, where it's like, I feel like that makes sense to have. It's not necessarily a weapon, but it is going to be like
Yep.
something that adds to that healing buff. Like a wearable that, regenerates more than some of our other stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, they can probably stack regenerate. It's like pretty
that'd be
good.
cool. Yeah.
And that's handy for them. But then in terms of how they kill you, I guess they
You could do like the Wolf's Fury, and it's like some kind of axe or something. Could be cool. Um,
yeah.
the Hunter's Chain could be cool. Like some kind of it either could be like some kind of like chain whip or like maybe like a flail almost.
Okay.
Mm, trying to think there could be like I don't like this name, but I for some reason I can't get it out of my head, so I'm just gonna say it so we can come up with something better. But something like Alpha's Approval, where it's like either a spell or a tome or something like that, but it gives you some kind of buff. Um, what else do?
Yeah, if they need a big weapon, it could be something like Pack Breaker.
Ooh, yo, that's cool. I like that.
Because I think I'd have to build them out and fight them to know this, but I think
Right.
we could easily slip into a situation where they heal like crazy, so they're really hard to win
Yeah.
against, but they never kill you. Um, So I don't want to introduce a new mechanic to fix that,
Right.
but what I can do is, so we don't want them to be heavy on what. So vampires, it feels like they are fast, smart. What else are vampires like defined as?
Right Dog says something that does damage based on defense/block.
Yeah, so this was it's a really good point, and this is where my brain went as well. But I'm really worried about introducing a new mechanic to fix this problem. Like uh, it's I would rather give them the best weapon in the game so far. I'd rather that Pack Breaker is like a 5 damage sword.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
whereas if
I
I
do like
introduce,
that also. For an
if I
item
if we,
name called Wolf Whistle, and it's like a dog whistle.
that's cool. I like that.
That is cool.
Oof. Yeah. Whereas so introducing a mechanic to fix the issue, even though the issue might not be real, I'd rather
Right.
like Pack Breaker
Yeah.
is a 5 damage weapon, which is insane right now, right? Our highest damage is a 3. That's
Yeah.
crazy talk. But I'd rather introduce that than fighting the werewolves is learning 2 things. It's learning about regenerate and
Right.
also learning about
I
this
think that could
regenerate
be,
combo thing.
yeah, a cool way to do it. Kind of have it like suggested that, like, okay, the meta of this is you should hit the vampires before you hit the werewolves, because then you could get some like higher powered weapons than we've seen in like the first, dungeon, maybe dungeon and a half. Like maybe we see like one thing that's, slightly more powerful, or a few things or whatever from the
Mm.
necromancer, um to like slowly build up. But then when we get to the by the time we get to the werewolves, we're kind of at this point of like, it doesn't matter. Like I was excited to have this, like, wow, this is the highest damage dealing weapon I've had so far, and now it doesn't matter what I hit this guy with because he just keeps regenerating.
Yeah.
Could be cool.
Yeah, it could definitely be cool. It is so tempting to do the item that does damage based on their regenerate.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
because what it means is, in my mind, and maybe it won't play out this way, it gives you this window of opportunity where they bundle up their regenerate and you're like, they're unkillable. Then they unleash it on you, like they delete
Yeah,
it to hurt you. And if you survive, there's your window. Like attack them
right.
now, and you can outplay them by defending while they defend, surviving their attack, then killing them. But I mean, there's a lot of speculation, right? We'd have to fight them to know how bad regenerate is.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
what the way I was going to get around this was vampires are fast and smart, and I don't know what else. But what are werewolves like? They're like brutal, right?
I
They're
was gonna
meant to be
say,
much
like,
more
aggressive was the first thing that I thought of.
aggressive. Aggressive is good. Aggressive. Um,
Oh man, I was
they're
gonna
almost shown to be
say,
like mindless, right? Because this is kind of exactly my thoughts. Is
like, very like
it'd be a very
instinct driven, like very
yeah
reactive.
reactive is good. Reactive. I was thinking that there's this fighting them can feel very different because a vampire can like use lots of card draw and
Hmm.
combo cards together so that it feels like it's a smart enemy. Like
Yeah.
they would not bloodlust you until they were ready to attack you. So then they'd go extra actions, bloodlust, attack, and you've lost 8 health in a turn, and you're like,
Right.
what? That's ridiculous. The werewolves shouldn't do that. The werewolves shouldn't
Right.
chain a set of items together. They instead should be like, yeah, there's no draw cards. I don't know.
Yeah.
Extractions would be okay because you could chalk it up to speed. Defense would also be okay,
I
but you
think
don't want them to have card draw, right? What you want them to do is you want them to be attacking and
right.
regenerating, and attacking and regenerating.
Okay.
That's
So
their loop.
what if
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I do, and I have an idea. Maybe there's something here. Werewolves, okay. Obviously, like, move in packs. So what if it's something where when you're fighting these werewolves, it's in a way to like aid that line of thinking of, okay, so they're attacking but also regenerating at the same time. What if it's like this like dual enemy thing that we see for the first time in this setting where they have like a phase or whatever where one of them drops back to regenerate, and during that time the other one is attacking, so it's like kind of this like rotating offset mechanic of like, again, like you're excited that you just got like, oh man, like wow, this is my first like 5 damage item. Like I thought I was like, you know, gonna be in like low damage dealing forever, and then you come and fight anything in this dungeon and it's like, oh, what is the strategy that I have to adapt to now where I'm actually making any kind of like noticeable difference, because they just keep like doing this like double team, one regenerates while the other attacks, and uh kind of having to like deal with that. um I don't know. uh this new like attack strategy or pattern or whatever you want to call it. What are your
Mm.
thoughts on anything like that?
I don't hate it. Like, I'm totally down for it. It's like, yeah, I'm thinking if we're de-scoping and polishing to
Mhm.
get, like, maybe
Right.
werewolves just aren't the slot for this. Like, I'm happy to build them out and try and see if they're fun to fight, but
Yeah.
I would hate to, yeah, introduce a whole new set of mechanics,
Right.
card or duality or
That
whatever,
is a
even
a
though they
good
sound
point.
super fun.
Yeah.
Um, just because it's easy to get carried away, right?
Mm, trying to think
So
like,
thinking I'll just do it like this, right? So vampires will be, they'll definitely have extra actions. They'll definitely have card draw. Can definitely have healing. Um, and they should definitely have bloodlust as well. In fact, what don't they have is the question. They shouldn't have defense, I guess. Vampires. Um, what did I miss on this list? Attack. They do want attack. Maybe their attack quite little though. They don't want defense. Vampires don't want defense. I don't. What I was thinking is like, as long as I know what kind of cards and effects they want,
right.
when we get to building them, I can just plonk out the cards that we've already got, hand it to them, hand them their new effects, fight it a few times, see what they're missing, tweak them up, tweak them down.
Yeah.
This game's quite easy to balance right now because I can the decks that you've used to win, the deck that I've used to win, what we have right now, I can put those decks in the simulator and say, right, how
That's
hard is the
cool.
first vampire? How
Yeah.
hard is the first werewolf? Okay, the new werewolf needs to be harder because it's you smash him
Right.
to bits without even trying. Oh, he's too hard. It's impossible to win.
Yeah.
Um, but what a good guide for starting them out is to know what kind of cards they should have.
Right. Yeah,
So
definitely.
we think the vampire. Actually, I said extra actions plus plus, but I think it's just okay. They kind of want extra actions. I know I said they're fast. They only kind of want healing as well. Vampires have such varied lore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a little bit tricky here because we're like choosing the lore. I
Yeah,
think we make
exactly.
them. We don't make them have good defense, and we don't make them have great healing purely because the werewolves are an option, and the werewolves should have. They've that is their mechanic healing
Yeah.
effectively. Um, and I don't think the vampires should be big attackers. Their bloodlust makes them big attackers.
Exactly.
We can't.
Yeah.
If they get a 3 damage weapon, you're potentially taking 6 in one hit.
Right.
They could
No,
combo
I
you to
agree
death.
with that too, that it should be not necessarily like a big attack, but it should more so be the additional modifier to the attack of like having that
Yeah,
status condition of like, no, you're losing blood, or whatever, whatever we want to make it, um that adds to the what makes it so good, or makes it potentially worth uh building a deck around.
yeah. So the werewolves are attack and regen with a little
Hmm.
bit of defense. The vampires are draw and bloodlust with a little bit of extra action.
Extraction being what? What is extraction?
Extra turn, like mana, whatever
Oh, sure. Okay.
the combo.
Okay.
Um, I think that's how I'd slice them out.
Yeah, I think that.
See how that goes, and then
Yeah.
how many handful of items there, handful of items there. Yeah, this is it. I got what I need. I can build these two to try.
And if there's like anything that you need uh on top of that, like if it's not enough, or if you're like, hey, I need this or whatever, just send me a message, let me know. Um
Oh well.
yeah, that sounds cool to me though.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're in a good spot here because if either of them, but more like, oh, excuse me, if either of them are more likely werewolves and not that fun, we can just change to a different dungeon. We
Yeah.
don't have to do werewolves. I can spin them up where they're just names and shadows. Fight them.
Yeah.
We can fight them a bunch of times each, and we'll just know, yeah, this guy's not fun to fight, or
Right.
this guy's very fun to fight, but he's really fucking hard, which could be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll know that for both of these, and we can adjust before we do any art, right? Before we do any um, serious effort.
Yeah.
I'll just have card names, and then I'll have. I, I'm assuming this is fine. This like shadowed approach I've gone for. You originally
Yeah.
suggested it for cards you've not seen,
Mhm.
um, and I thought that's a great idea. And then I realised, oh, actually, with the art you've delivered now, almost every card can be unique, even if some of them are shadowed,
Right.
which in your hand feels way better. I'd just like
Yeah.
to say, like, it makes it so clear
Yeah,
what you're doing.
definitely. Instead of like just one thing
Reading
all
the
all the way
name
across
and
the
and
board.
yeah,
Yeah.
reading the name, looking at the diamonds, and being like, which diamond is that again? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
That is I think that is probably the next thing on my list after I get like a
Yeah, hell
few
yeah.
more items pushed out, is actually address that. It's like the little pip indicators of like, okay, let me
This
let me design
if
these
we
to actually make sense.
if we have the luxury of delaying that solution
Yeah.
until after we have all 4 dungeons pretty solid,
Yeah.
I think you'll be so
Sure.
in the positive because you'll be
Yeah.
able to see what all the cards look like.
Yeah.
Is there any cards that have 3 effects? Do they all have 2? Are they all comboed together? Like I was thinking the other day that if you wanted to get smart, you could say that defense, attack, and healing are like active abilities, and they could go on the
Mhm.
right hand side in the corner. And then you could say that draw and action are like left hand abilities,
Yeah.
and they like gain you a resource.
Mhm.
And then if you did that, you could go for a more traditional card design where they have a right hand side and a left hand side, and they do a mana thing, or in our case, sometimes a card draw thing, and on the right they do like a damage thing or a healing thing. And then yeah, and then every time you look at a card, you know what you're looking for. Does it buff me? Does it damage them? Type thing, like, which is attack and defense almost. Um. Anyway,
Yeah. I
if we had
like that.
all the cards ready and in this list that I'm looking at, I
Mhm.
feel like designing how pips work and how the overall card design, I feel like that becomes a lot easier job, a lot more well
Definitely.
informed job.
Absolutely.
Um,
I like that. That sounds like a good plan for me.
yeah. What did I remember? Yeah, that's what should be Iron Pot helmet,
Hmm.
which is still kind of funny. But
I like it.
because a shield goblin breaks the rule, right?
Oh,
It's a
wait, that
thing.
is actually okay, that is something I meant to ask you about and completely forgot until you just said that. Shield Goblin. Okay. What is your thought behind that? Um,
So
is something I've
I
been
want to
meaning to
change it.
ask.
I
Okay.
want it to be an Iron Pot helmet. It provides 2 defense,
I
and it's
understand. Okay.
it's funny. It's a kind of helmet a goblin might wear, which is just a pot on
Perfect.
his head.
I
Great.
really like that.
But when I originally wrote Shield Goblin, which was a long time ago, my thoughts were as the boss of the Goblin dungeon, he
Mhm.
could use he could use a small goblin to defend him. He could be like, "Oh yeah, you goblin,
Right.
hold the."
But
And I love
that's
this
funny.
idea. I think it's great, but for it to be worth breaking our rule for, probably not.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Um,
Maybe we
when
implement
I
a
was
shield
adding it to the
goblin
list, I
enemy.
was like, Shield Goblin, okay, like kind of like along those same lines. I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah,
get it, but like we don't have any other like character based cards though or
no,
whatever.
we don't
Uh
at all. Yeah, no.
wait, what did you call it again? The pot uh hat. Um oh my god, what did you just
Wh-
say for the
how do I find your list that you're currently on?
that's
Um,
a great question. Is it for me, I have it just pinned in favorites, design under design assets. Um
so we go in here, task,
oh there it
design
is,
asset,
yeah.
crypt crawler, open that,
Yeah.
design assets again,
Yeah.
open that,
And then under cards.
cards. Ah, okay. I've got a big old list
Yeah.
that is not in this format. Um, so what if I mess your system up? Truly,
How dare you?
I know. And I'll say misc paste. Ah.
Oh, there you go.
Um,
Yeah, that'll work.
okay, you've done the short sword. I'm getting rid of that. Great. Perfect. This is what I would like it to look like, but I'm hoping that we can create a list like this together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically, we want to create the card names, knowing what they do and who uses them.
Yeah.
Then create the material names that make those items.
Yeah.
Yeah, we basically have to start going down this rabbit hole soon.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, hey, let's not saying now. That sounded like I'm like, all right, let's get into it. That's not not at all what I meant. I was gonna say, let's just we can I can set it up tomorrow and like add some of this that we already have to it, but just in Notion and just start like jamming on it together of brainstorming stuff and uh putting it together this way.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's where I was what I was assuming. Well, yeah. Oh, iron pot helmet, that's what you call that. I do like that a lot.
Yeah. Iron pot
Um,
helmet. Yeah. What I really want, and
type.
while you carry on, we can move towards this. Is that the view like this for the Warhammer?
Mhm.
I'd like it to also tell you what makes it, what's needed to craft it,
That'd be cool.
and who use and like where it occurs as well, which is just
Yeah.
for us, just for me and you. Like it occurs in these places, these decks.
Yeah.
I think if we have that, and then probably a cycle button so you can go through them one at a time,
Yeah.
it would probably make it really easy to go right. Bone Ward. Okay, it's in one deck,
Yeah.
and it drops these materials which can only be acquired in these places. Fine. Like I have a picture in my head of what this could do.
Mhm.
Whereas I think that's quite hard right now. Like Enchanted
Yeah.
Blade, what can we replace that with? Because this was called Enchanted Blade, but actually this is the only person that has this right now is the Necromancer, and it's weird for him to have an Enchanted Blade, I think.
Okay.
Um, Goblin Staff's great because only goblins use it.
Right.
Amethyst Staff, skeleton users, I think. Anyway, you get the idea, right? There's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we could make that what the necromancer drops if we wanted to. If that if that fits. I can't remember cuz I know you said he used
so
enchanted blade or whatever, but
he drops the items required to make Bone Ward,
okay.
and that's because Bone Ward is the only 2 puncture. Oh, sorry, it's a 3 item. Most of these are 2 items, right? They do 1 on 1,
Yeah.
1 on 1, 1 on 1. The 2 exceptions is Enchanted Blade and Bone Ward.
Nice.
So they're the best 2 items right now.
Yeah.
Um,
I
for now.
very quickly realized that and was like, okay, building my deck around these. I need more more heavy hitting items that deal more
The
damage.
first deck you won with, I don't know how you did it against the Necromancer because you had so much shield.
I did have
Shield
so much for no
and
reason to,
and
because
he doesn't care about shield at all. He's like not.
right.
It's a
My
non-issue for
my
him.
initial thing was like, okay, I'm not gonna change anything. Like I'm gonna go in with whatever's given to me and just try and like brute force my way through it. Uh and
That won't work.
then it didn't work very well. Uh so then I was like, I need to like add things to this. uh yeah.
Yeah, let me see the. Yeah, it's a short bow, cuts through. Oh, I don't have a shatter spike. Let me
I
create
do
a
like
shatter
Shatter
spike.
Spike. That was another good one that I was like, okay, this is fun. Like this is starting to feel good. That
Oh
and
no, I
the
replaced shatter spike. Shatter spike's not called that anymore.
that'll
Why did
be
I do
that's
that? What is
okay.
it? Oh, it's the amethyst
It's
staff
the
now.
amethyst
Okay,
staff, yeah.
fine.
Which
I can
okay, cool. um
also fine. Yeah. So yeah, the amethyst staff.
uh I really liked the Elvish Cloak, where it like gives
Yes.
you I
Yes.
started like changing up my play style a lot to be like, okay, what can I be doing to just constantly be adding more actions to my turn? And then like
100%.
so like
That
the
is the way I've
dagger
won.
and like the cloak and like all of that stuff where it's like, okay, I can't just I mean, always my like default is like I'm just gonna brute force my way through this thing and just like go in, whether it's like through with magic or, just like heavy hitting weapons or whatever, and just like bash my way through everything. But
No,
then I was like, that's not working. I need to like slowly chip away at these things and like continuously add to my like turns and like add actions and stuff like that, and do it a lot more like slowly and strategically, which once I figured that out I was like, okay, wait, this is pretty fun. I enjoy this.
yeah, the Elvish Cloak, if the
Yeah.
rest of your deck is good, is the best item
Yeah.
because it means you use that card up,
Yep.
so it goes like back into your deck effectively, eventually, and then you get another action, and
Yep.
it draws a card. So
That
basically, it's
paired
as
with
many slot.
the Tome of
Yep,
Knowledge to like get like more cards in your deck too. I was like, this is, or like more cards in your hand. I was like, this
yep.
is, I've cracked the code. I've
You
figured it out.
you can set this. You can set this thing up. I thought this might be the first way you win, but you didn't. You didn't do it. I'll show you. I'll do it now. Do a live demo for all our viewers out there. Okay, so Elvish Cloak. Craft a bunch of these. Okay, fine. And then wherever it is, dagger. Yeah, here we go. Dagger.
I was sleeping on
Dagger.
Dagger for a
Whew.
minute because I was like, it's not that great, like, whatever. But then I very, 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 very underestimated how good it can be.
And then wasn't that? What was it? How did I? Maybe it was that. Fine, that will do for now. Anyway. Okay, so none of that. None of that. None of that. That's garbage. That thing. That's all good. Okay, so
Oh,
another
that
tome
was one of
card.
the random notes that I had thrown out there earlier in the week, I think, or this weekend of I think you should definitely like be able to when you're in your like this menu specifically at the armory, when you click on the cards that are already in your deck, we should get this same pop up.
Yeah,
Uh
that's true for sure.
just because I kept like running into like, wait, what does that one do again? What does that one do again? Just because I didn't know our game well enough. That's like getting lost with trying to build something that uh in theory made sense, but I didn't know what items actually would get me there.
So this is the how I assumed you would win the first time. Okay, I think the setup's complete now. Yeah. So
Oh.
4, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I don't have much now. All my 3 daggers are in use, but that's okay. So between daggers and Elvish Cloaks now, I can go dagger, 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 Elvish Cloak, and then I'll draw a dagger. Okay. So now I can just go dagger, Elvish Cloak, dagger, Elvish Cloak. Oh no, my tomes have come back. Dagger, Elvish Cloak. Still my turn. Dagger, Elvish Cloak, dagger. Oh no,
That's
there we go.
insane.
Now I've been tomed. But
And
I'll
now you're stuck.
finish with a lightning bolt. End my turn. Okay, and then of course we repeat.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, that
Yeah,
looks
so
so cool.
that's the cheese strat, which I'm not sure what I can
I mean,
do
hey,
to
it
prevent.
definitely works.
It does work. That's for sure. Oh
Yeah.
no, but this is the annoying thing. If you draw it in your opening hand,
Yeah,
It's
thinking
actually
like,
not ideal.
uh-oh. Yeah.
In the turn, dagger, dagger, Irish cloak, Irish cloak, Irish cloak, Irish cloak, dagger. Dagger. Probably fine. No, there we go. Burnt out. I'll heal and tome. And then my turn. There we go, done. Oh, that was the next monster. I was thinking I was so sick, so proud of myself. And nothing.
Uh, cool. Well, man, I know I keep saying this, but it is very cool to be like, just every time we look at this game, it looks and feels like more and more a game by the day, which is very, very fun.
Oh, my connections.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were getting a little bit choppy there. I can still see you and hear you okay for the most part, though. But yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap it up for the night. I know it's getting super late for you, and we stayed longer than we usually do, but I feel that we got a lot done today, which is always cool. And I don't know what I would put this. Whatever, it'll go in cards for now. Cool. I'm gonna send you this coin again, whether or not we actually use it, or if it's just it just exists in our hearts uh until we roll out our microtransaction empire. Um at least it is done. What do you think of this guy? Just sent it
Yeah, perfect.
to you. But yeah, let's wrap up there for today. Um and yeah, we will see y'all in the next one.
Yeah,
I'm actually seeing
thanks.
maybe. Anyways, I'll edit this and then send it to you again. But all right, thank you guys for hanging out and for uh watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.